Good morning, everyone. We're so excited that you've joined us here at the Water's Edge. And if you're online with us today, make sure to check us out on Facebook or YouTube and feel free to like, share, and comment. And if you're live with us, here's a few things we'd like you to know. We have nursery and kids church available across the lobby. And as always, we're always in need of volunteers. So if you want to get plugged in, you can email us at watersedgevolunteer@gmail.com, or you can text your contact info to 337-352-2443. And remember, if you know anyone that's struggling, invite them to church or share our online content with them, because this is a place where broken people belong and everyone is welcome. We have a full experience for you this morning, so get ready to worship and receive a message from Pastor Tony.
God, I need it every day. It's the only Looking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence, you never fail me yet. I know the night won't last, oh, your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence, you never fail me. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence, you never fail me yet. You never fail me yet. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. Oh yeah, we'll see you do it again. Oh yeah. Promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence, you never failed. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands, this is my confidence, you never fail me yet.
amazing time of worship with the Water's Edge Band. And I'd like to take this time to thank you for partnering with us in helping, serving, and feeding those in our community. And if you're interested in giving, here's a few ways you can do that. You can use your camera on your phone and scan the barcode on the screen. This will take you to our Square Giving platform. You can also visit watersedgegathering.com, where you can download our app and simply click on the giving link. Another way is you can text your dollar amount to 337-223-9003, or you can mail a check to P.O. Box 572, Lake Charles, Louisiana 70602, or 2760 Power Center Parkway, Lake Charles, Louisiana 70607. Now let's prepare our hearts and our minds for a message from Pastor Tony.
What's up, everyone? Good morning and welcome to our Water's Edge online Sunday morning worship experience. Once again, we thank you so much for hanging out with us today and tuning in. For those of you that continue to tell your friends and family about these online services, thank you so much for doing that. We hope it's very helpful. For those of you that continue to give online, thank you so much for your generosity. It helps us serve so many people in our community. It helps us love people and help people and feed people. Just a few things we have coming up. Next Sunday is our Easter service. We have live in-person services at 9:30 and 11:15 a.m. We would just ask you that if you are a local online watcher with us, if you've been just staying online and you're local, we would ask you to try to join us in person next Sunday for one of our Easter services. It'll be a really cool service. It'll be safe. It'll be very, very engaging. It'll be very creative, and we think you're going to get a lot out of it. And so if you normally watch online and you're local, we would ask you to maybe join us in person next Sunday at one of our two services. Also, this coming week on Thursday, we have our next food pantry. That's the 14th, and so we're really, really excited about that. If you know of someone that can help, let them know about that. And if you would like to volunteer, show up around 9 o'clock in the morning and you can volunteer, and it'll be a blessing. So today we continue with our series called The Next Chapter. I think most of us, you and I, were given nicknames growing up. If you were anything like me, your friends growing up gave you one nickname, and then your family had another nickname for you. Like my basketball team growing up, they called me Tiger after Tony the Tiger, but my family had another nickname for me. They just called me TR, and that was after Tony Ray. That was my initials. But I also had other friends who were given nicknames, and sometimes those nicknames were given to them based off of their personality or sometimes based off of their flaws. Some of you may have been given nicknames like that, like Smelly Shelly, and they gave her that name because she smelled bad. And I had another friend, they called her Squeaky, and the reason why they called her Squeaky is because every time she laughed, it was a very high-pitched squeak. And I had another friend that we called X-Ray, or we called him Bones because he was so skinny, he looked like a walking X-ray, people would say. And then my dad was given a nickname called Spray and Ray because he used to use so much hairspray in his hair that it wouldn't even move. And then sometimes these nicknames given to us by other people could be very, very cruel. If I were to ask many of you today to name some of the nicknames that you've been given when you were growing up, it could bring up some very painful memories for you and I. People love to point out. People love to tear down. People love to judge. People love to make fun of our failures and our flaws and our screw-ups and our mistakes. And they love to remind us about it over and over and over again. But what if you and I have something in common with God's unlikely heroes? And what if it's just that? When the world looks at us, they see throwaways and trash, but when God looks at us, He sees a treasure. And this series has been about that. It's about seeing you and I in the stories of Jesus and how no great story has a perfect character, and how you and I, our stories, they're not over just yet. And one unlikely hero that we're going to look at today is one of the 12 disciples, and he was given a nickname throughout the years by the church. And so pretty much anytime this disciple is talked about or taught about or mentioned, he's mentioned with his nickname, and this nickname given to him by the church has always been a reminder of his moment of failure and his weakest moment. It was a moment of doubt, and we know him as Doubting Thomas. We pick up today in John chapter 20, verse 24. One of the 12 disciples, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, was not with the others when Jesus came. And so the disciples gave Thomas a nickname, and that nickname was the twin because his name meant in the original the twin, and it also meant that he probably had a twin brother. Verse 25. They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I will not believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into the wound in his side." Verse 26, 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you," he said. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand in the wound in my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." Verse 28, "My Lord, my God," Thomas exclaimed. It's this one episode. It's this one moment in the life of Thomas that has caused the church for years and years, centuries, to give him a nickname, a title, a name that highlights his battle, his struggle, his weakness, his brokenness. He's been given the label Doubting Thomas for years and years and years by everyone. And so most of the time when we hear about this one disciple, the one thing that comes to our mind is his moment of weakness, is his failure. It's his doubts. And as religious people, we're so good at that, aren't we? Oh, they're coming to church now. You know, they were arrested once. Oh, they're coming to church now. You know, they used to be hooked on drugs. They were divorced. Oh, they're coming to church now. You know, they had a child out of wedlock. They're coming to church now. You know, they spent a year in juvenile detention. They've lost 3 jobs. They didn't graduate. They couldn't pay their mortgage. Oh, they're coming to church now. We love to highlight people's lives by their battles and by their failures and by their struggles, don't we? 3 words. Shame on us. But always remember, and this is always true in God's kingdom, God's heroes are unlikely heroes, and no great story ever has a perfect character, and your story is not over yet, because here are some other things that you and I need to know about Thomas. So in John chapter 11, Jesus has a friend named Lazarus in a place called Bethany in the region of Judea. And Lazarus is dead, and Jesus needs to go visit with him and his family because he's going to raise Lazarus from the dead. And all of the disciples are like, "Jesus, last time we went there, all the people in this region wanted to stone you and kill you. And so we're all saying, you can't go back there. We can't go back there. It's not safe for you. It's not safe for us. It's too dangerous." Every disciple said that, but one disciple, John chapter 11, verse 16, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, said to his fellow disciples, "Let's go too and die with Jesus." That's bold. That's prepared. That's courage. That's bravery. But we don't talk about this moment in Thomas's life, do we? I mean, it was a very equal moment. We don't call him Brave Thomas or Courageous Thomas or Bold Thomas. No, we overlook this moment and go straight to the weak moment, and we call him Doubting Thomas. Or what about how his life ends up? This is a great story. Around 52 AD, after Jesus had risen from the dead and ascended back to the Father, the church begins to spread all throughout the Roman Empire. Well, Thomas moves right outside the Roman Empire to a place called India. And he takes the love of Jesus to India, and he starts churches all over India. And history tells us that he reached and impacted about 17,000 people. Some people think that he was stabbed with a sword because of his faith in Jesus. Other people believe it was just an accident. But here is a man who went to an unfamiliar place with nothing but a passion for the love of Jesus and to make a difference in the lives of people. You can still today visit in India monuments to his grave and some of the churches that he started. He came a long way from Doubting Thomas. Why? This is why. Because his story didn't end in that moment when he had doubts. His story kept going, and so can ours. Have you ever went through a time in your life where you had some serious doubts, some real intense doubts about God, about Jesus, about the Bible, or yourself and your relationship with Jesus and your own faith? If I were to ask you to raise your hand, if you've ever battled with doubts, we would all say, "Me, I have. I've been there." We have suffered, and then we doubt God. We've been through tough times. We have heartache. We have tragedy, and then we doubt God. We have failures. We have battles. We have sins. We have regrets, and then we doubt God. We have questions. We have confusion. We have more questions, and then we doubt ourselves and we doubt our faith. And most of the time, these doubts make us feel like we've lost our faith, and God is moving away from us, and it feels like we go so far backwards that God is disappointed in us, that we've let God down, that we've let ourselves down. It seems like Thomas went backwards, didn't he? In John chapter 11, while Jesus is still alive and with Thomas, he is brave and bold and fearless, and we're the same way. When it feels like everything in our life is going pretty good and we feel close to God, we're brave and we're courageous and we're strong. But then in John chapter 20, after Jesus had died, Thomas thought he's gone. He's left me. He's left us. And even after Jesus appeared, after he was resurrected, Thomas doubted, and we do that too. We go through heartache and pain in this life that makes us feel like God is gone and dead and far away from us, and we doubt if we'll ever be close to God again. And then when he tries to move on us, we keep doubting. He'll answer a prayer, but because of our pain, we'll doubt. He'll move on us in worship, but because of our pain, we'll doubt. He'll work in our hearts and circumstances, but because of our pain, we'll doubt, because we think that our doubts have caused God to be so upset and disappointed with us. But let me ask you a question. If you're still with me, say, I'm still with you. John chapter 20, verse 27. Then he said to Thomas, put your finger here. Look at my hands. Touch the wound in my side. You can believe now. Don't be faithless. You can tell by his response that Jesus was gentle with Thomas in this moment and peaceful with him. His response was, my Lord, my God, he said, or he shouted. Does this seem like Jesus was mad or upset or angry with Thomas? Not at all. Did Jesus praise or brag on any other disciple in front of Thomas for not doubting? Not at all. Jesus went straight to Thomas and he helped him believe. And after this, Thomas became a wildfire for God's love, fearless. See, doubts are not the enemy of your faith. Unbelief is. That's why Jesus says we need to believe. Doubts are actually the brother and the sister of our faith. And this is why. Because once you dig deep and you keep pushing past those doubts, it'll propel your faith and make your faith stronger. So very quickly, as we get ready for Easter, next Sunday, let me give you a few observations about our doubts and our walk with God. The first thing is this. If you're still with me, say I'm still with you. Doubt your doubts about God. Say, Tony, what if God's not good? What if God's not for us? What if God's not forgiving? What if God doesn't love me perfectly? What if God's not real? What if it's not true? Okay, I understand. But what if those doubts about God aren't true at all? What if the opposite is true? What if God is good? What if God is loving? What if God is forgiving? What if God is for you? What if God is real? What do I do when I have doubts about God? I simply doubt my doubts about Him, and I believe and I dig deeper. Number 2, doubt your doubts about yourself. Yes, your faith could be stronger. Yes, your faith could be more sincere. Yes, your motives could be more genuine. Yes, your devotion could be more passionate. Yes, your discipleship could be more committed. And so you doubt if God really wants you because you're not as perfect as you think that you should be. But even if you do get stronger, that's not going to make God love you more. Even if you do so much more better things in this life for other people, it's not going to make God love you more. If you get free from all of your struggles, it's not going to make God love you more. You have all these doubts about yourself, and then you think God's upset with you, and so then you think that you're not worthy. God can't use me. I can't worship. I can't draw close to Him, and so you back away. And the whole time, Jesus wants you so much that He keeps walking towards you like He did with Thomas and said, look at my scars. Look at my wounds. Look at what I did for you on the cross. Now, don't doubt, but believe. Some of you today need to make a decision to prove yourself wrong. You think you're done. You think God can't use you. You think you're a failure. You think your past is too bad. You think that you have too many doubts. Thomas stood up and moved to India, and his story didn't end with his doubts. The next chapter was much better, and he impacted thousands of people. Trust God, get up, and prove yourself wrong about yourself and everyone else too. Maybe other people have labeled you the doubter, too weak, too bad, too flaky, not good enough, not faithful enough, not devoted enough. They have doubts about you. Well, doubt their doubts and prove them wrong too. Number 3, if you're still with me, say I'm still with you. Your doubts can either paralyze you or propel you. Thomas could have given up. He could have quit. He could have walked away. And if you have doubts, you can do the same thing today. You can quit and you can walk away, and those doubts can totally paralyze you. But that wasn't the end of Thomas's story. India was. Now, let me just kind of inspire you for just a moment. Because what you're going through right now is not the end of your story either. You think because you have failures, it's the end. You think because you have sin and regret, it's the end. You think because you have mistakes and doubts, it's the end. You think because you have letdowns and shame, it's the end. But if you keep fighting, it could be the very thing that propels you into the type of faith that touches other people and impacts other people. Your story of standing back up again can inspire other people when they're going through their past and they're going through their regrets and they're going through their battles to stand back up again. No story, no great story has perfect characters, and your story is far from over. And if you'll stand back up again, you can inspire other people to believe and do the same. So let's believe and let's stand back up again. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We absolutely love you, and we cannot wait to see you back next week on Easter.
What a great message from Pastor Tony. We really hope you enjoyed today's worship experience, and we hope it has encouraged you and helped you in some way today. And if you're moved by today's service and want to stay tuned the rest of the week on social media, you can check us out at Waters Edge Gathering on Facebook or WatersEdge_LC on Instagram. You can also download our app where you can do online giving, listen to worship songs, and replay messages from Pastor Tony. If you want to know more about salvation and baptism, want to volunteer, or need a prayer request, you can visit our Welcome Center in the lobby, and our volunteers will take down your information. We absolutely love you guys and can't wait to see you back next week at the Water's Edge, where everybody has a place to belong.